Hello everyone, in this video we will be going over Boolean expressions and if statements. Boolean expressions can be used to make decisions in your code. These expressions evaluate to true or false, and they often use comparison operators like equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. In this code, x is 10 and y is 15. The first one will print false because x is not equal to y. The next one will print true because 10 is not equal to 15. The next one will print false because x is not bigger than y. And the next one will print true because x is smaller than or equal to y. Sometimes you want to check more than one condition. You can use an OR. An OR returns true if at least one condition is true. An AND returns true if all conditions are true, and the not flips a condition. True becomes false and vice versa. When you combine and or in one statement, Java follows an order of operations just like in math and is evaluated before or. So in this example, x or y will return true because at least one of them is true. The next one will return false because not both of them are true, and the next one will print true because x and y is false. The not reverses this, which becomes a true. And then the next one, you evaluate y and z first. Y and z evaluates to false. X is false. False or false is false. An if statement lets you run certain code only if a condition is true. In this example, score is bigger than or equal to 85 is a Boolean expression. If it's true, Java runs this code inside the brackets. If it's false, it skips it. But often you'll want to check multiple conditions, and that's where else if comes in. The else if clause lets you test another condition if the first if is false. You can have as many else if branches as you need, and Java checks them from top to bottom in the order they appear. As soon as it finds one condition that is true, Java executes that block and skips all the rest, even if later conditions are also true. Finally, the else block is optional, and it only runs if none of the if or else if statements are true. It acts as a fallback or a default action. So you can try this problem. The first if statement checks whether x is smaller than 7, which is false since x is equal to 7. So that block is skipped and x remains 7. The second if statement checks whether x mod 3 equals 1, which is true. So the code inside the block executes and x becomes x plus 2, which is 9. Finally, the program prints 3 times x, resulting in an output of 27. So that is the answer. You can also try this problem by yourself. The answer is C, because that's when the two code segments behave differently. In code segment A, only one block runs, so if choice is bigger than 10, it prints blue and skips the rest. In code segment B, the if statements are separate, so it prints blue from the first if, and then yellow from the else tied to the second if. As a result, segment A prints only blue, while segment B prints both blue and yellow, producing different output when choice is bigger than 10. Next, you can try this problem. First, Java evaluates the expression inside the parentheses. 5 is smaller than 8 is true because 5 is less than 8. And 5 equals 8 is false because 5 is not equal to 8. Since true does not equal false, the value of x is equal to false. So the answer is E. Next, you can try this problem. So the code initializes x to 3 and y to 2. Since x is bigger than 2 is true, x is incremented to 4. Then because y bigger than 1 is also true, y is incremented to 3. The next condition, if x bigger than 2, is true because x is now 4, So first is printed. The following condition, if y is smaller than 3, is false since y is exactly 3, so second is not printed. Finally, third is always printed because it is not within the if statement. As a result, the output is first third, making D the correct answer. So you can visit the website bikinginitiative.com for more resources. If you have any more questions, you can join the group chat and ask our tutors. Thanks for watching.